What's going on, guys? This is Devon Evans, and this is the Band of Barbers podcast. Today is episode 13, and we're rolling. We're rolling right along. Don't really have a long episode for you today. This is going to be, kind of brief. Really had an amazing day today. Hung out with the baby all day. Did a little shopping, took him shoe shopping. It was an adventure. Doing anything with a 1-year-old is just always an adventure. After that, we put his little dinosaur costume on. We took him to see grandma and great grandma. And then, work never stops. I had to go to Harrisonburg to meet with a potential student. And I think it went great. Honestly, I think it was had a really good conversation. Met a new barbershop owner over there. We talked and everything like that, and it was pretty cool. One of the things about me that you'll learn, especially if you know me, and I mean you like really know me, not just know of me. I really, really care about people. I care about seeing people succeed, care about seeing people grow, and all of those sorts of things. And this is really why I chose to do this. Like, I could have done a million other things. I could have, probably, gotten a high 6-figure paying career and just cared about myself, but I don't. I care about other people, and I want to see people do their best. I want to see people grow. I want to see people, break free of different things and change the trajectory of their lives. And that's just something that's like really, really important to me. So I take it serious. Like I said, I drove about 40 minutes to meet with a potential student. And, part of the reason that I drove there is because, we're asking you not only to make a financial investment in the school, but we want to make sure that you are making that you are ready to make the investment, and you're ready to take the challenge, and you're ready to grow, you're ready to expand, you're ready to enter into a world that once you get in, and if you really understand and really see what's going on, like, it's going to expand so much expansion is going to happen for you. There's so many different opportunities. There's so many different places that you can go within this industry, from being a platform artist to being a barbershop owner, just being a barber, being a barber educator, having your own product line. Like, there's so many different things that you can do. And really, I say this in jest, but the most basic thing you can do within this industry is to cut hair. Like, that's at the bare minimum of what you can do. And, like I've told every student, I don't want you, if you just want to be a barber, that's okay. But I would prefer to work with people who want to expand beyond just being a barber, right? Just being behind the chair. We talked about this before. A lot of people get into this industry because they want freedom. They want control of their, not only their money, but their schedule, their day. You can do those things, but it's a process. There's some ways that you can break free, and you have to figure out how to make passive income or semi-passive income. You have to figure out, okay, if, like, for example, if I were to start a product line, in order to have the product line, you're going to have to purchase the products, test the products, and do all of those things beforehand before you can sell them. Then you're going to have to learn how to market and sell those products. And although that may be a journey, it may be difficult, it may take some time to figure out. Once you figure out how to sell these products, whether you sell it B2B or barber to barber in this sense, or barbershop to barbershop, like however you need to figure out, you have to figure out how to sell this. Now, if you're making $300-$400 a day behind a chair or more, and that's great. That $300-$400 behind the chair is dependent on you being present behind a chair with a substantial client load and doing all those things. If you figure out how to channel and move products within getting into local brand or local stores or things like that, if you figure out how to do those things, hey, then you can make $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in a day. Is it going to happen right away? Of course not. But, think about what would have to happen for you to make $3,000 to $5,000 in a shop cutting hair. That's the only thing that you're doing. I talked with the potential student today, and one of the things I was saying is that in our area, that everything has been passed down through apprenticeships. Luckily, in this day and time, barbers want to share. Some barbers want to share the information that they have, right? They want to share. They want to see you grow. They want to see things like that. It wasn't always that way, right? It wasn't always that way, and things like that. But now that you can share the information in things of that nature, and now that barbering is picking up popularity within the communities or within social media, because I won't ever say that barbering was never not popular. It may not have been popular as a job, but most people I know got their hair cut. Most even women get a trim. Men get a trim. But what I was saying to my the guy that we kind of did an interview today, I met with today, what I was telling him is that your income or your skill set can increase if you just open a book. That you open them a lady book or Pivot Point or whatever book that you may have, I can almost guarantee you, and especially if you came through an apprenticeship type deal, even with school, I can almost guarantee you there's some stuff that you're struggling with, you don't really understand how to do, you don't know what's going on, that if you just went back and looked in your book, the answer would probably be there. There's very few things. I don't think that I've seen, and this is just me thinking, I don't think that I've necessarily seen in any textbook them talk about doing designs. I don't think I've seen that. But if the one thing we talking about learning on your own is designs versus everything else that goes into cutting hair, from understanding the shape of the head, the parietal ridge, the apex, understanding where the occipital bone is, like understanding those things, they're in a book. Understanding how to frame a haircut based on a client's head shape, understanding how to do a proper consultation. Like, a design is such a minor thing when it comes to the business, right? And I've said this before, I'll say it again. This is a business. Therefore, you should run it as such, right? You should run it like a business. There's only so far that you can go behind that chair. But you have to, in order to achieve in order to achieve and amass wealth, you have to reproduce what you have going on. That's reproducing yourself. And for those shop owners that are always like, oh man, I can't find nobody, and da 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 da, and so on and so forth. Hey man, listen. If they can do 70% of what you're doing, you need to understand that that's okay. You need to understand that that's okay. Lead them to develop the passion that you have for them. Show them the tricks of the trade and things. Show them. I'm telling you, show them. Don't hold on to this stuff because you are so determined to be the guy. You're so determined to be the guy. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Do not be that guy. If you worked up to a skill level and now you're in a shop as a barber, or now you have your own shop and you're expecting people to come work with you, you're taking on the role as a leader. It's your business. Your barbers coming in are not going to care about your business as much as you do. They came to you for an opportunity, whether it's an opportunity to learn, whether it's just an opportunity to have a place to work or anything. They came to you for an opportunity, and you have to be a leader and lead them in the right direction. And what's that mean? You have to study leadership. You have to study people. You have to study communication. You have to learn how to build and operate a team. Yes, even though barbers may be behind your chair as individual people, as individual barbers or booth rent barbers, and they tell you that they independent, they work for themselves. They listen, at the end of the day, they still need a leader. They still need a leader. If you let the barbers that come work with you just run rampant and you have no structure, you're quickly going to be upset. Very quickly are you going to be upset. You're going to be upset and hurt. Because they're going to do their thing. And it's going to be hard for you to regain control over it if you've let them control it. Right? It's going to be hard to do that. But this is not a business of micromanaging. We shouldn't be micromanaging in our business. If you're micromanaging your booth run employees, even your commission employees, or just your employees if you run that type of shop, if you're micromanaging them, you, one, don't understand leadership, and two, don't have a strong enough system in place for them to reference and go back to. You don't have a strong enough system in place. You don't have a client growth system. You don't have things to show them the process of success. You just don't. Okay, so guys, listen. You know, I talked about a couple different things today, and that's fine. But I'm always, like I said, I'm always talking from the heart. I'm always telling you what's on my mind, what I'm going through, what I'm experiencing, what's going on. You know, grow, change, seek to be a true leader in the industry. There's space, there's room. You know, there is room. You just have to figure out where you want to fit in and where you can fit in. It's a two-step process. Where do you want to go? And how can you do it? The groundwork has already been laid for you throughout it. Find the history, look it up. The questions that you're asking, it's all things that they look it up, find it out. You understand what I'm saying? Like just find it out. I understand that, you know, some of you, you know, maybe like, oh, reading and stuff is not my thing. Okay, there's videos. There's podcasts. You're listening to a podcast. Find some podcasts, listen to it. You know, find you some audio books, things like that. Develop your mindset. Develop your mindset. Don't end with just getting behind the chair. Don't jump into next level stuff. Don't end with stuff with just being behind the chair. That's not the end. It's just the beginning. It takes time, takes patience, takes perseverance. But if you can spend 10 months, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, if you can spend that amount of time learning and working at getting your license, and I'm talking multiple years for the old school apprentices, you know, when we had the 3,000 hours, I'm talking about way back then. Or, you know, the 1,500, the 1,100, the 2,000. If you can spend that amount of time just focusing to get your license, you can spend that amount of time developing and learning how to build a system and how to grow a business and grow the business the proper way. Grow the business the right way. All right. Anyways, guys, this is Devon Evans. This is the Man and Barbers Podcast. Thank you for listening to my thoughts for the evening. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys had an amazing day. I did. I had an amazing day. Right? I truly did. Thank you again. We'll catch you next time. What's going on, guys? This is Devon Evans, and this is the Band of Barbers Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today is episode 14. We're 2 weeks in. That's crazy. We're 2 weeks in. I'm very excited, to be where we are as far as the journey is concerned, everything like that. And I thank you guys for listening. I don't know who's listening to what, but I appreciate it. Hey, if you're listening, go ahead and put a comment in, I don't care. You put a comment in and let's talk. Let's talk. Let's get some viewer discussion going and discuss a few things. Today on my agenda for the podcast, I want to talk a little bit about business behind the chair. I don't know if I've necessarily really touched on this. I'm always going to touch on this because, I just really enjoy business. But this is one of the things that has kind of been on my mind here lately. And like I've said before, that I have studied the business models of other people, other brands, other businesses. Now, have I gone about it exactly how they have? No, but one of the things I saw from their one of the things I saw from their model was the importance of having an educational system to train your people. That was a big thing that I've seen. The educational process is important. Henry Ford and Carnegie and a lot of those big guys in the early 20th century. Yeah. A lot of guys in the early 20th century, one of the biggest investments they made was into education. And they understood that in order for their business to grow, they needed people who were educated to a certain standard in order to be able to properly work and function in their businesses. Now, for me, in the sense of barbering, I feel like in order to grow my brand, I'm only one person. And I can stand behind the chair all day, but if I never learn the business side of it, it'll never grow. That's just my belief. It's just how I feel. And one of the things that I also believe is that getting a barber who has gone through an apprenticeship, or has gone through maybe a school that you don't necessarily know or anything like that, like they don't. A lot of times it's a struggle, right? Barbers can be very cocky. Barbers can be very, really just they can be very cocky. They think that they know and understand everything, and so when you try to teach them something as a shop owner or something like that, they may not be so open to learning what you're talking about. They just may not. And it sucks. So I really feel like being in their educational journey early, if they're 16, 17 years old when they enter into your school, they're probably not going to be ready to open a shop once they get their license. They're going to need a place to work. And if you've trained them and then you have somewhere for them to go, or if you have shop owners who believe in what you're doing and you trust that they're going to take good people and nurture them into great barbers, that's cool. But for me, I really feel like just because, and I'm going to say this, just because you're a shop owner doesn't mean that you can't have a barber that works, that it's technically skill-wise better than you, or that is busier than you, or anything like that. Like, this whole idea of, people leaving the workforce to become barbers to then turn into a robot and try to cut everybody's hair, it just doesn't make sense, especially if you've opened your own business. I mean, if you have a business, it's a game of leverage. It's absolutely a game of leverage. And, I'll just say that, it's totally a game of leverage. And for many people, like, they have the wrong idea. And I sometimes feel like this new wave of barbers, this new wave of barbers that we have coming in, or these new shop owners that we have coming in and things like that. Like, I feel like the barber is now like the new rapper, right? Everybody either has wanted to cuts hair, or has their hand in some, they're just kind of all over the place. And it doesn't make sense. You don't understand business if I understand there's a build time as far as building up your shop. I get it. But here's the reality of it. If your business, I heard this the other day about the fishing test. If you can't go on a fishing trip or vacation or whatever you want to call it, for 7 days at a time, any time in the year, without your business falling apart, lacking, or falling behind, you don't have a business, you have a job. And you can take it for what it is. And I'm telling you from the I'm reporting to you. I'm understanding. I'm looking at ways now to get from behind and expand. Like the most important thing for me right now as a school owner is leveraging my relationships and getting out into the streets and into the schools and everywhere and talking to anybody who is interested and willing to go to school to cut hair. Because yes, I am here, I am going to have to stand in the, I am going to have to stand in the classroom initially. But if I don't go out and recruit, if I don't go out and talk to people about what we're doing, and I just spend all the time trying to be in this classroom and just focus on what's going on in the classroom, no one will ever know. No one will ever know what I'm doing. Or if they do know, it'll be very few and far between. It'll be slow. It won't be steady. It won't be consistent because I don't control I don't have control of the marketing for the business. And, I've heard this from multiple sources, multiple mentors and things like that. If your business is struggling, it's typically not the product or service you are selling or delivering. It's typically an issue with your marketing. It may be a whole slew of other things, maybe poor customer service and things like that. But it's typically not necessarily the product, it's the marketing. Once you figure out how to get them in the door, you should have already trained or have a system in place to keep them in the door. You should have some sort of systematic approach to how you're dealing and working with your clients. You should, I tell you for myself behind the chair, it's 2023 and we have all of these digital processes. We have, now we have online booking and all of these types of things. So for me, I started really not to see a use for business cards. I understand for some people business cards have a place and everything like that, but typically everybody has a smartphone, right? So instead of having business cards, when a client gets out of my chair that's new or is asking, how do I book with you? How do I get with you? So on and so forth. I have a QR code on the wall that I point to and I say, hey, pull out your phone, scan the QR code, give you everything you need. Can't be no simpler than that. It has about the same amount of potential, in my opinion, as a business card. I go hand a business card out to someone, or I hand a business card to someone once they get out of my chair. 9 times out of 10, typically for most people, I've seen they lose the card. They're like, oh, I lost it. Oh, my bad. Can I get another card? Or they come in and I'm busy and they're like, You got time? And I'm like, nah, not really. Not really. So, that's just kind of how that rolls. So I just saw a need to be like, let's just digitize this. I only need to print up a 3-cent piece of paper and put it on the wall and put it in a nice frame and tell you, like, this is how you book with me. Just do this. Now, for my older people, I give them my phone number directly and I tell them, hey, just call me, just text me, whatever. We'll do it that way. We're talking about older people. I'm talking about 70, 80-year-old clients. You got to understand where you're at and what the timing is. When we get to 70 and 80 years old, there's going to be a whole lot of technological advances. Look how fast it's growing now. Year after year after year after year, the AI has come in and just taken over and taken jobs and, created jobs. Like, AI has done a whole lot. So, I look out for my older clients, but just really because they're older. They're older and they've got a lot of... Listen, I've got maybe 4, 5 older clients, like, that are, like I said, 65, 70 plus, that want to make appointments. A lot of the older guys just, they'll come in and, it's like, oh, you guys busy? You guys take walk-ins? Yeah, we take walk-ins. We're busy, but you're going to have to wait. And they'll sit there and wait because that's what they're used to. This newer generation, not so much. I much rather prefer working by appointments. But for my older gentlemen, like, I don't care. Like, if you willing to sit and wait if I'm busy, cool. If I'm not busy, come on, let's get in a chair, let's get you in and out, spin it twice, see you next time. Not it's not that fast, but you know what I'm saying. So, you have to look at more than just technical things. More than technical stuff, more than those things. I've said this before, most people don't really care how well you cut hair. And the barber, the artiste in you is probably super bothered that I say that. And I get it. Because it bothered me when I heard it. But I also understand the truth behind the statement. Not only from being in an independent shop, but from watching franchises and established brands and the people that they have working in their shops not even being the most technically sound. We're talking about businesses that do $500,000 or more a year in business. $500,000 or more in revenue. And if you don't know, I looked it up. I think for the hair cuttery, for example, or sports clips, it may be one of those two. The average owner take home is like 70, 80,000. Owner take home 70, 80,000. Right? And you look at their franchisees, like these women and men, most of them don't even work in the shop. You know, am I saying? And I'm winding down here. Am I saying that you need to, open a shop and just put a manager in place and run it? No. But I'm saying if you want to retire based on barbering, in my opinion, you got to have a system that feeds the shop. As you get older, you're going to want to slow down. That's just reality. You're going to want to slow down. And so you got to have a system in place that pays you. It pays you and it takes care of you and your needs. So let's be strategic about it. Let's be realistic about how we manage and we do things in business. And can I say just one last thing to the shop owners? I understand that this is your baby and this is your environment and things like that. Like, I get it, right? You hold your shop near and dear to your heart, right? Your shop was you hold your shop near and dear to your heart. When you get these guys in these shops and you're working with these guys, you're taking a chance on a new barber or something like that, please take care of them. Please take care of them. Please teach them. Please study yourself about expanding, growing, and building a business. You may have one shop, but somebody else has 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or a worldwide franchise. You may have your shop, but if you hold it so personal and you're trying to micromanage everything that's happening, that's going on, like, people have to learn. And you need to study how people learn. You need to develop, you need to have a true onboarding process, a true hiring process, a true hiring evaluation. Don't just bring a guy in and the first thing you do is say, "Oh, let me see a cut. Oh, let me see what you got, what you got going on." Only looking at the technical skills. You're looking at the technical and not the personality. And you get a guy in there who's a great barber who has a terrible personality. Terrible language, very unprofessional, always late, not coming to work. Like, you find all that stuff out on the back end, and then the next thing you're saying to other people is, one, I can't find reliable people, or something. Like, you should have asked you should have a way to figure out these things early. How to, figure out these things early. If the barber that you're hiring is on shop number 6 in 2 years, you may be the one to help him, but it's probably some things that barber's going to have to do in order to get himself together. And if you want to deal with that, so be it. But remember, if you choose to deal with it, you also choose to manage it. You also choose to manage the situation. You know, I don't care if you're commission or you're a booth rental base bar. I don't care which one of those you are. I really don't. I don't care which one of those you are. What I'm telling you is that unless somebody in that shop with you is your business partner, the people that are coming to work with you, whether they say it or not, are looking for guidance and looking for a leader. So in order to give them guidance, you have to have a semi-understanding of where they come from, what they're doing. Like, yeah, we get it, right? This guy is technically sound. Sounds wonderful, great. Technically sound. Or he, something like that. But you can't get him to come to work on time. I don't care how good he is. Or you can't get him to come to work. You're just adding stress to yourself. If the and here's another thing. If the people don't fall in line with how you run your business, they gotta go. They just have to go. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They gotta go. Which is, like I said, this is why I chose to start a school over a shop. If I come in, our relationship starts with me being a leader. I teach you. You generally always will have respect, just like for the people I work with. Some of my, well, not some of my clients, like some of my coaches growing up. Like my coaches growing up, when I see them, they're still coach to me. Coach so-and-so, coach so-and-so, coach so. They're still coaches to me. We haven't changed to now that I'm an adult, we're on first name basis. You taught me something that I did not know. Gave me opportunities that I would not have had. I'm still going to give you the respect. Right? And respect is important. So, again, like I said, this is just my way of seeing things. This is my way of doing things. Now, we can agree to disagree. You can stop listening to the podcast here and never tune back in. But I'm telling you that being in shops, being around and seeing the vacancies or the need for basically trained, efficient barbers has kind of not, like, I just see it, and the only thing that makes sense is for you to train them and then give them an opportunity to work with your shop or maybe a shop that you're invested in or something of that nature. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. Trying to find the right people, knowing that there is limited to no training in this area, I feel like is just a huge curveball to what we need. Right? It's a huge curveball to go out there and get a guy and, yada. It's just a curveball. I'm not going to keep explaining myself. I told you guys this is my story, my journey of opening and running a successful barber school. It's just what it is. Want to disagree? Want to get in the comments? By all means. It's not going to change my idea. This is already in motion. It is already in motion. So, again, business is business. Learn business. Learn everything that you can about your business. Develop, grow, and build your business. Look at the factors that apply to you for your business. Right? And if you own a shop, you got some young guys in there, whatever, some guys that's trying to work with you, take care of them. Take care of them. I ain't saying hold their hand, but they came to work with you typically because, you gave them an opportunity, one, and or they respected you. They respected you even if they asked you. Don't get above helping other barbers. This is why the industry was flat for so long, because barbers didn't want to share what they were doing. Don't get a guy in your shop and then still not share with them. You 10, 15, 20 years ahead of where they are, show them how to get there. Show them how to get to where you are. And this is the thing that people need to understand about this trade. I can ask you a question, you can show me how to do it. It does not mean that I'm going to be able to do it immediately or even ever. But it didn't hurt you to teach for 5-10 minutes. It didn't hurt you to remind them, show them, answer their questions. It didn't hurt for you to do any of that. You're not giving away the secret sauce. We in this game to cut hair. You got 2 hands. Can't cut everybody. And if you brought them into your shop, it was obvious that you can't cut everybody. So, either way, I thank you guys for tuning in. Again, episode 14. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Do what you do. Check us out. Let us know. See what's, we want to know what's going on. All right. Let's get some input here. Anywho, I appreciate you guys. I thank you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying this journey, even though it may seem all over the place. I hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys enjoy this journey, and everything like that. My name is Devon Evans. This is the Band of Barbers podcast, and we'll catch you tomorrow.